Hello, everyone. Hiya. Nice to see you all again. So, without we are going to wait. We are going to wait for a couple of more minutes. Let everyone join in. But what is today's stream about? Let's talk about that first. So today's stream is about React. Okay. In the past, I have done a React project, but it was very basic just to understand how React works. But this time, I'm dividing this into a three-part series where we are going to build a final project. Okay, a final product is going to come out of our this hard work that we do as a part of the stream. But in this final project, what is going to happen? We are going to build a job board website. Pretty sure that that should have been very easy to guess from the title. But in the job board website, what we are going to do is day one, we are going to work with some things. Day two, we are going to work with something. Day three, I'm going to actually teach you how do you get more data. Because at the end of the day, your website is as good as the data that you put on your website, right? So we are going to do some parts of web scraping, and that's how I have divided this whole series of building a job board website with React. And today is part one. So now let's wait for just 2 more minutes. If anyone is coming in to join us, let them join us. Meanwhile, if you have joined me for any previous stream, you know, you know what I'm going to say right now. Please create an account on Replit. Why? Because I think it makes it easy to not go through the hassle of setting up local development environment, because everyone has a different OS, everyone has a different way of working in a way. The settings are different for everything, and it just makes it so difficult. So, one word for all, please create an account on Replit. So, in Faizan, no, you did not miss anything. I was just talking about what we are building. We are building a job board website, and I have requested everyone to please create an account on Replit. So I'm going to just copy paste this in the chat and request you all to please create an account so that you can do pair, like, not exactly pair programming, but we can work together. Because again, if you have joined me for previous streams, you know that I just love when we all code together and then we can solve issues. You have helped me a lot of times. You all have helped me a lot of times. I have helped you a couple of times solving issues, and that's the great thing about streaming, right? And of course, live coding. So let's wait for 1 more minute, just 1 more minute, and we can get started with our project. It's okay. It's okay if you don't have experience in React, because that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to help you learn React. And once again, everyone, if you have experience in something, like let's say in React, and you find this stream going slow, I would request you to stick around. Why? Because you would be the best people to help everyone in the chat. Okay. And if you don't have experiences in React, that's fine. That's okay. Because the goal of my stream is to ensure that you learn the basics. You get just your hands wet, your feet wet, and that's it. Okay. And I'm going to make it simple. I'm going to make it simple for everyone. Okay. So we have been waiting for everyone to join, and we have quite a good turnout. So let's move on. Now there's a question: isn't React used for mobile app development? That would be React Native, actually. So yeah, React is so good that you can use it for web development. You can use it for mobile development, but React has a flavor called as React Native, which is used for mobile development. Okay, doke. Oops. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do, if you have created an account on Replit, which is very easy to do, so go to the website, there is a sign in with Google, click on that link and you're done. It's that easy. So if you have created an account on Replit, and that's what I requested everyone to do, let's move on. So on the left hand side, okay, on the left side bar menu, you'll find something called as templates. Go to the templates option and search for React. That's all you have to do. Just go on the left sidebar, go to the templates option. There is a search bar here, a small search bar. You can search for React. Or if you want to go for the big one, that's fine too. You just search for React and it will start showing you options. This is the one we want, Replit slash React JavaScript. Okay, this is what we want. So if we go here, you can find it. Even when you search for React, you'll find the first option or maybe the second option. Just check what it is for you. React JavaScript, and there's also React TypeScript, there's React plus Bootstrap, and so many other things. But we'll go with the the bare minimum that will get us started. And there's not like too much, yeah, bells and whistles around it. So React JavaScript, this is what we are going to go with. So let's click on that option. You'll find on the right hand side there is use template. Okay, now this is necessary. Why? Because that's how we end up using the template. So click on use template, whatever name you want to give it, you can. So let's say I'm giving it as build a job board website React and GHW. And if you want to give it a description, like normally I just skim over it, skip through it, but I think it's a good way to ensure that you remember. Because let me tell you a funny story. I deleted one of my repels because it had a weird name that was generated, and I did not have description, and I did not go through what I had built, and I lost code. Never do that. Never ever do that. Okay, so have a quick description of things. So building a job board website using React. My voice is echoing. Is it like on my end or is it on your end? I'm curious. So now we click on the use template option, and yeah, I think Zenil, it is happening on your end. Maybe change the headphones or just remove it. Maybe that would be helpful. Okay. So with this, fairly simple ways, okay, fairly simple ways. We clicked on templates, we've searched for React, chose React JavaScript, added a title, added some description because I've lost code without adding description. So added those many things and click on use template or run, and finally you are here. This is what you are at right now. You are on the website, you have built the first React project. And this is what I love about Replit. Why? Because setting this up would have taken a lot of time, but Replit just does it for us like so quick, so good. So now that everyone has reached out till here, and if anyone is like falling behind, just let me know in the chat and I'll just repeat the steps again. But mostly everyone should have reached here. Fairly simple steps, very minimal effort, and that's what I like. Let's take minimal effort but maximum output. Okay, with all those things, now let's go and build a structure of how our website is supposed to be looking. Why we need the structure? Well, simply put, if there is a structure, we know what we are working towards. If there's no structure, it just becomes very difficult. Okay, really difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Google Notes, or I think Google Keep. Yeah, it's called as Google Keep. And in Google Keep, we are just going to simply draw some things. Okay. Again, the reason I love Google Keep is makes it simple. Okay. Just makes it simple. My phone started listening to me. I was like, oh, what you're saying, what you're saying. Sorry about that. So Google Keep, why are we using Google Keep? Just to draw a layout of how it looks. I am not a designer, let me tell you that explicitly. I am not a designer. So I'm just going to use the simplest tool available for me, and I'm just going to draw some things. Might not be the best of shape, trust me. You never want me to do a human figure drawing. I am bad at even making stick figures. I have a ruler and I can't make a single straight line, but that's fine because you know what we are going to build here. We are going to build a job board website. Oopsie doopsie. This is a disaster. Uh, okay, come on, come on, come on. Okay, this is bad now. Can I do an undo here? Yes, I can. Thank God. Yeah, it's like Google Keep is good, especially when you want to just quickly uh design something. Not even design, I would say, just sketch your ideas. Perfect. So after a lot of struggle, I was able to design a web page. No, this is not how a web page is supposed to look, but think of these black lines as our layout of a website. Okay, so now that we have that, let's take some different color so that I can talk about it in colors, because I cannot definitely talk about in terms of design. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to give a structure of the website. So as part of the structure of the website, we will have something called as the hero. Okay. This section, this top side, this is called as the hero section. So on any website, you can say a website is divided into multiple parts. There is a hero section, which is the top. There's a headline in the hero section. Then you have something called as a call to action, which is more often than not, it's a button. Okay. So if you go on any website, let's say I'm going to use Tailwind today. So I'm going to go to Tailwind CSS. So this top part, you can say this is the hero section, and this get started, this is called as a call to action button. Okay. So hero, call to action. And coming back, so this would be, we would, the yellow part is, this is where the hero section is. So hero section, we are just going to define the title of the website, if that makes sense. So quick title and quick description. Hopefully this is visible. So I have written hero as good as I can. Okay. Now, after writing in the title in the hero section, where we'll have title and description, we'll jump right back to building the website. Okay, like building the job boards. Now job board, you can think of it as two ways, and I'm going to show you both ways. Way number one, which would be the easier part that we would do today, because I want you all to get familiar with React. And that is why we are going to build something called as cards. Okay, so if I go to something like, yeah, this. So on the Tailwind website, this is a card. Okay, that's what we call it. This is a card. So in the card, you can say there's an image on the left, there is a title, there is a subtitle, there is a description. Okay, this is how a card looks like, and it's fairly simple to understand. A card, a square, not a square, can be a square, is a rectangle at this point, and you have some stuff inside it. So we are going to use a card to structure the jobs. Okay, and this is the easy part. Why I say it's easy? Because Trust me, the next one is going to be very difficult. So a card, what we'll have here? We'll have, like, let's say this part, okay? This would be the job role. So if let's say it's a job role for a front end developer with JavaScript, or a Python developer, so that would be the job role or job title, as you can say. Then below that, we can have the name of the company. Okay. We'll also have a call to action button where click on that button. I'll write BTN, short form for button. The struggle is real. So we'll have the title, we'll have a short description, we'll have a button going around here. Okay. And what else can we have, which is like quick? So I don't want to make too many things around here in this card, because clicking on this button will take you to the actual job like, what's it called, the job description, the which is put by the company. So clicking on this button will take you there, so more description can be there. So we just need the title and this, and what else, I'm just curious. Hmm. hmm. We could put in salary, but not every company gives out their salary, talks about their salary, or gives the details about it. So if not salary, what's next? Okay, let's keep that space empty for right now. Okay, we'll have something coming in definitely. I'll think about it once we start building this, but I would love to hear your ideas. So let me know what is something that we can put here. Could be anything, just maybe let's say date. Okay, the date or when this job was uh, disclosed, or the, yeah, remote and in person. That's a great idea. So let's do that. So remote or in person, r slash, okay, that looks bad. R I, okay. I don't know what you can make of it, but but it is remote slash in person. So I can do IP here, and that's how we design it. This is what we call sketching. Just bunch of ideas coming from you, coming from me, and we have the layout of how a website would look. Now this is one card. Of course, we'll have more cards coming in. So this, come on, man. Simple rectangle, that's what I ask myself. So yeah, this is what we are going to do. We are just going to add a bunch of rectangles with bunch of data, and that would complete our first page. We can, and if we want, which we'll see if we have time, definitely, we'll add a footer. Okay, we'll add a footer. So there is a header on the top, and there would be a footer at the bottom. And that, okay, footer. So I don't know if it was a question or it was a suggestion, but so this is what a footer would look like. Okay, just a bunch of things that goes into taking you to important links. That's what a footer would do for us. So a header is what a user would look at when they first come to the website. When I open tailwindcss.com, this is what I come to. So this is my header part, or the, with a hero, with call to action and everything. And once you start scrolling and scrolling, how do you know that, okay, I have reached the end of my website? You add a footer. Let a user know that, okay, now you are at the end of it. This is the end game now. So yeah, very bad pun out there. But the hero section, a bunch of cards, the footer section. Now this is the easy part that we are going to build today, and I hope we'll be able to complete it today. But if not, that's why we have part 2 and part 3 coming in. So this is the fun part and this is the easy part. What is the difficult part? So when we go on to the difficult part, the hero will stay, the footer will stay, the cards, we are going to change the cards to tables. Okay. Now, tables, they sound easy. These are like easy peasy lemon squeezy. But the problem with tables is, think about it from a user perspective. Okay. What are tables? Tables are nothing but, let's say, Excel sheets for us. Oops, this one is went outside. It was a good line, and then I just deleted it. But with tables, you have something called as the row headers. Okay, column headers. Sorry, column headers. The column title. These are where the column titles will go, and everything else will go down here, which is fine. But as a user, I want the ability to filter this, okay, or maybe sort by name, sort by date, whatever, if we have the data, of course. So sort by name. Let's say I want to sort this column, or I want to sort this particular column, I want to sort this column, or I want to do a filter. So there should be a search here which should allow me to just search for something. Let's say I'm only interested in front end developer roles. I should be able to search front end, and it should only show me the data of front end. Let's say I'm only interested in company in like uh, Meta. Let's say I'm only interested to work with Meta. So I just want to know Meta in here. So that is what we want our table to do. We want it to do a lot of things. And when you build a lot of things, it becomes more and more complex. So this is why this will go in part 2, P2. Okay. So this table format is going into part 2, and we are not building it today. This is our part 1 today, which we are focusing on. So I hope that gives you a clear idea of what we are doing. We're building a website, hero section, a bunch of cards, footer, and in the cards, we are going to add some details like the role name, the company name, remote or in person, and a call to action button. Okay. The data that I'm going to put in, that would be fake data. So if it's a fake data, then don't think that, oh, this job is open. No, it's not. And so yeah, this is what we are building. Now, anyone who joined me late, I think there are some questions like, what are we doing? So we are basically building a job board website, and we are building it using React. And I requested everyone to please create an account on Replit. Okay, so this is the website I requested everyone to create an account on, replit.com. And replit.com, if you go there, you can just click on that sign in with Google option. You'll create the account. And then once you have done that, click on templates, go to React, and open the React JavaScript template. Once you click on it, click on this use template option, give a name, give a description, and click on use template. And once you have done all of that, which sounds hard, but it's easy, you'll come back to this page. And then we just designed a very good layout, which someone said, this is a good wireframe sketch. So thank you so much for that. So this is what we are going to design. Now that once we have had, like we have spent around 20 minutes thinking of what we do. And this is important, okay? I'm not saying you should just randomly start coding. You need to have a layout. You need to have some idea of what you're building. What is the end goal going to be? So that's what we have done till now. Now, with all that in mind, what we are going to do is, number one, delete what we have. Okay, before deleting, okay, let's wait. Can I click on this run button? This is like big green run button, which is basically a call to action. And the action is click on run. Please click on run. So once you click on run, on the right hand side, a bunch of things are going to happen, and it will open the website. It will start showing you how the website looks. So where is this coming from? This React, Vite, and Replit, where is this coming from? So if you go to app.jsx, this is where it is coming from. I can change it. I can say GHW plus job board plus Replit. Like takes time to load, but end of it lets you in there. So whatever you are writing here is going to be rendered on the website. Okay, this is what is the website. So you can also click on that option which basically opens it in a new tab. If you click on it, you'll have a full pager coming in. GHW job board Replit. Whatever you change right here, will change it in here. Okay. So with all that, let's get started. Now, step one would have been to delete things that we don't need or we just don't want. So that one thing is majorly inside app.css. Why do I say majorly? Because this line height of 100 VH, this is what is ensuring that it stays at the center of this big wide screen, wide and white screen. But I don't want that. So I'm going to remove it, and you'll see that this shifts from the center to top left. Okay, this is where it goes, and that's fine. We'll come to it. We'll add our own styling, we'll add our own customizations, we'll make it as pretty as possible by using the tools that we have at our disposal. Okay, now with that out of the way, then there are a bunch of things. There's a main, there is the text, but we need the text for now. Why do we need it? I'll let you know in a minute. Other than that, index.html, we are not going to touch it, frankly, but we can do one thing. So you see the name of the tab here. So once I hover over it, you see the name that comes in, React plus TypeScript plus Replit. So that is the title of the website. Okay, that is the title. And when there is a title, what is going to happen is you can change it to whatever you want. And it's a job board website dash part one. And once you do that, nothing changes on this, of course. Nothing changes on what is being rendered on the page. But what changes is this title. So if I hover over it again, you should be able to see it. Now it's job board website dash part one. You can give it any title you want. It's totally on you. You can also add your name here. Okay. Like by, let's say, I'll add my initial. So by UT. So that's what I see here. You can add your name definitely, but I'm going to keep it to job board website dash part one. And that's how we have just begun. Now, before I move on, any questions from anyone? Any queries? Anyone stuck at any point? Can you make that title dynamic? Yes, you can actually. And we can do that with React. I'll show you like once we are in the coding aspect, I'll show you how you can do it. But that's a good point. Let me just quickly make a note of some good things that I can show. Make title dynamic. Perfect. How to get the React boilerplate. So boilerplate is coming from Replit. So I would request someone, now that I have, I want you all to work together. Can someone just put in the steps right quickly in the chat? It would be helpful for anyone coming in. Long story short, go to replit.com, create an account, go on templates. It's on the left side bar. Go on templates, then go on the right side search for React, and you'll find the first option as a card. Actually, you'll find a card which says React JavaScript. You'll click on that, add title, add description, and that's it. But someone, come on, let's build a wholesome community right here. Okay, so moving on. Now, any website in the world is built on HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay. I mean, there are many other aspects to it. You use PHP and everything, but it boils down to HTML, CSS, and then some scripting. But HTML and CSS, these are the two main parts. So even if you write code in JS or JSX, this is what the page, what's it called? The dot notation after that. What's it called? What's it called? What's it called? Uh, Come on. So what is this .css and .jsx called? Can someone just quickly help me out? I just extension. Thank you so much. So the extension, even if it is .css, .jsx. So .css is CSS file. .jsx is our JavaScript file. And even if the extension is .jsx, it will boil down, or it will you can say bundle into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, these three files. We only have a single HTML, so that's fine. We have a single CSS file for now, that's fine. We will write a bunch of JavaScript files, but it would be bundled together. And that is what React does good. It allows you to separate things into separate JavaScript files, but once you click on, okay, now I want to see my website, it will bundle it and build it, and it will make three types of files, not three files only, three types of files. It will make some HTML files, it will make some CSS files, and it will make some JavaScript files. Now there's a question: does that mean that JSX can use both HTML and JavaScript? So what you see right here, it looks HTML, it feels HTML, it works HTML, but it's not HTML. So this is a very clever way of writing HTML like syntax in JavaScript, and it is called as JSX, not the flight one. Introducing JSX. So JSX is basically, React talks more about it, uh, and it says that, we did not want to especially create a whole new way of writing the front end code. Everyone is familiar with JavaScript, and people are familiar with HTML, definitely. So we would just combine them together and create something new, which, as I said, looks like HTML, feels like HTML, works like HTML, but is not HTML. It's called as JSX. Okay. Okay, so now for writing CSS, you can of course, write the plain CSS that we could write in this app.css, but I am going to go forward and I'm going to use something called as Tailwind. Why? Because I love it. So Tailwind is an alternative to CSS. End of the day, when I talk about that bundling that happens, and React will bundle it, and whatever is our bundler, like in this case it's Vite. Okay, so Vite is going to bundle it, and it is going to give out HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But for the time being, we are going to use Tailwind because that is good. Camera angle, so camera angle is supposed to be this way because I have a separate screen out there and camera is here. I keep looking on the right hand side because I keep looking at the screen. So coming back, Tailwind. So Tailwind is an alternative way to write CSS. Okay, instead of writing CSS, you write Tailwind. Okay, which is fine. Why? Because Tailwind is good. It's good. It's great. I would go to the extent, like, it's so good. It makes it very easy to write the whole CSS, and it makes it easier to write it inline. Now, people get angry. Why do they get angry? Why do we want to put everything in one file? Why the whole JSX going in? And Thank you so much. Hopefully, I don't have a zebra on my head because it's going to hurt. But okay, we don't really want everything into one file. We want HTML to be separated, we want JS to be separated, we want CSS to be separated. There is separation of concerns, which many people advocate. I like it. I wouldn't say that, oh, let's not have separation of concerns. Let's put everything into one file, make it like 500 line file or 5,000 line file. That's a bad idea. It's going to be very problematic, even just for you to navigate through that part. But with Tailwind, you can actually either divide it or you can keep it in the same file. I like Tailwind because it makes it simpler. As I said, it makes it easy, and it makes it just like so good, so easy and so good. Now I'm going to install Tailwind. So how do you install Tailwind? You can go to the main website, tailwindcss.com. Okay, that's the website, tailwindcss.com. Once you go on to, okay, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Sorry about that. Would have looked bad on camera. So, new to Tailwind is the syntax different from CSS. We are going to have a look at it. Okay, we are going to actually take each and every syntax and we are going to just work with it. I'm also going to show you how you can play around with Tailwind so you understand what you're building exactly. So so once you come to the tailwindcss.com website, which I have shared in the chat, click on the get started, the call to action button. Click on that get started, and then you directly come to a page where it tells get started with Tailwind CSS. It calls itself Tailwind CSS, so it's near to, like, as near as possible to CSS, but just a different way of writing it. So get started with Tailwind CSS. And installation, it talks about installation, but we are using a framework. Okay, and what is that framework? It's, yeah, React framework, but with React we are using something called as that Vite thing, which I deleted, but you can go to package.json and you can find this Vite. This keeps on repeating. What is this? So Vite is a bundler, which I told you. What is a bundler doing? It is basically taking whatever code you have written and bundling it out into, like, separating it out into HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. Okay, that's what it is doing, and we are using Vite. The other option is Webpack. So Webpack is the other option. Then there is Vite. Then there's Parcel. Like, there's so many options. There's Rollup. There is not like, we would never use Babel for bundling yet. Webpack is good. Okay. Uh, yeah, so this is one option. We are using Vite, and I showed you where to find it. How do you know for sure? So if you go to your package.json, you can go to, like, check it on scripts. You can check it on dev dependencies. This word, you can see it's using Vite slash plugin dash React. And there is Vite again here. Vite is installed. So yeah, we know for sure we're using Vite. So if we come to Tailwind CSS, we'll go to framework guides. And the third option is Vite. Okay, click on that option. It tells you, so there are now two more options. Are you using React or are you using Vue? We are using React. So what changes? Like, keep focusing on this highlighted part. So if we are using Vue, it just takes a different template. If we are using React, it just takes a different template. Now, what is it saying? We'll go one by one. We'll not just copy paste everything and just mess up our whole replet. So the step one is create your project. Okay. Now we already have created the project. Okay, we already have created the project. So that is why we are not going to run these steps. Now, the next step is install Tailwind CSS. So since we already have the project, we are not going to run the first part. We are going to jump to the second part. Now, in the second part, it talks about installs Tailwind CSS. So how do you install Tailwind CSS? It says like copy this line. Okay. So we'll copy two lines. Anywhere you see this angled, that means this is one line and this is the second line. So we are going to copy this first line. Okay. Go here, copy, come to our website, and bottom you'll find console and there is a shell. Okay. So shell or console, we are going to go to the shell because that is where we can type things. Whatever you have copied, once you come to the shell, paste it there and then hit enter. Okay. So that's, as I said, I make it sound so difficult, but it is so easy. Now there's a question. I'm learning React. What is a JSX file? I have JS by default. What it is and why are you using it? And someone has answered. Thank you, Zainil, for answering that. So React is a framework of JavaScript which uses JSX extension. Yes, like it uses JSX extension. You can, okay, if you actually wanted, you can rename this and still have a JS file. The problem is for a user to understand, for a user to come in and understand that, okay, what are we using here? What is this file about? If everywhere they see a JS file, they'll think it's plain JavaScript, but it's not. It's using React. Okay, it's using React, and even though it's no longer compulsory, the first line is always import React from React. Okay, so this first line, this tells it that it is using React. This whole page is using React. And to make it simpler, you can just add a .jsx, which makes it easy for a user to understand that, okay, it's a JSX, that's JavaScript extension. Okay, which again, as I said, tells a user, tells someone who is looking at your code, makes it just easy for them. Now, what is the difference between npm versus npx? Npx versus npm. So npm is basically used to download packages, right? It is used to download things from the npm repository. So npm js. So this is a registry. We call it a registry. Why do we call it a registry? Because all the packages, all the libraries, they are here. Okay, people put their libraries up here. So example, even the React library is here. So if you search for React, you will find it. These many versions are there, and this is the way to install it. You can also find Tailwind. So what did we do? We did Tailwind CSS. We installed Post CSS. We installed Auto Prefixer. So Tailwind CSS. If you come to npm, you can search for Tailwind CSS. You can find who has been publishing is Adam Wathan, and you can go into the multiple versions that are there. You can see how many times it has been, like, look at the number of downloads, look at the weekly downloads. It's like just amazing. So this is what npm does. Npm has a registry. When you do a npm, even though they don't officially say that the full form of npm, like what is the full form of npm, but it's assumed that it is node package manager. Okay, so it downloads things. And npx is similar. So npm ensures that you download something and it gets added to your package.json. So we added Tailwind. This was not there previously, I can assure you that. So it downloaded Tailwind CSS. It also downloaded this Post CSS. It also downloaded this Auto Prefixer. Okay. it did all these things. It added all these things into the dev dependencies. And how dev dependency? Because of this dash d that I'm highlighting right now. So the dash d tells it to install into dev dependencies, and npm does that. Npx installs it and installs it globally on your machine. So it basically creates something called as a bin file, a bin folder. Inside this bin folder there are executables. So if you, let's say, do npx tailwind css, it is not going to install it in directly in your package. It's going to install it globally on your machine, on your Windows or Mac machine, and it's going to execute it. Okay. Executing is same as double clicking on an application and running it on any operating system. Okay. And there is a suggestion. Yeah, it's npm js is similar to pypy. Yes, exactly. So for pypy, you use pip to install things. Like, as far as I remember, I'm not very good at Python right now. But yeah, you use pip as your pack for installing things, and here you can use npm or npx to execute packages. So that is step one done. We had copied this line and added this. Now this is the second line. Yes, as you must have guessed, we are going to copy it, and then we are going to come here, we are going to paste it, and we are going to hit enter. Keep an eye on the folder here, on the folder structure. It created two new files. There is a postcss.config.cjs, and there is a tailwind.config.cjs. Okay, now this is important. Why? Because once we get on to things, we might come and change bits and pieces here and there. So with that done, so step one done, step two done, configure your template paths. Add the path to all your template files in tailwind.config.cjs file. So it's telling us to basically copy this. So this is highlighted, already highlighted in blue. So just copy this whole thing, and you can see it's inside module.exports, and just goes right in there before the theme. I mean, you can put it anywhere, but we'll go with, okay, the content. This already exists, right? Seems like that already exists. This array already exists. So we are going to only copy the two lines inside it, and we are going to come here and we are going to just hit enter and paste it here. Phew, that was a lot of hard work, right? I'm just joking. It was easy. It's like simply there. It just takes time to exactly explain each and everything, but it's simply easy. Go to Tailwind website, copy, 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 paste, 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 done, done, done. And then next part, add Tailwind directives to your CSS. Now, this is where I say, like, keep an eye on this thing. Keep an eye on how it looks right now. It's there, it's small, and doesn't do much. And now we'll go to Tailwind, and it is saying that add the rate Tailwind. Step three. So step three is basically copy these two lines, dot slash index dot html, and the source thing. Copy this and come to your replit, and inside this content, inside this, so it should be an empty array. Hit enter and just paste these two lines. Whatever you copied from Tailwind, just paste them right here. Okay, doke. Moving on. So now it's saying that copy this and paste it in dot slash src slash index dot css. We don't have index dot css. Why? Because we only have like index dot jsx, we have app dot css, we have app dot jsx. So app dot css, this is where we are going to paste these three lines. So copy these three lines. You'll notice there is a copy button right here. So if you click on that, it also copies it. So copy these three lines and come to your app.css. Ensure that you have deleted everything there. Please delete everything that already exists there. Once you have deleted it, paste these three lines. Let's go back, and then it's saying start your build process, so which basically means that we need to click on stop, and then we need to click on start again, so that it will take Tailwind in. It will understand that okay, Tailwind has been added, stuff like that. Once you have done that, just look at the output. It has changed. The font have changed. If you have like very good eye, and I don't mean it in any way, but you'll understand that the font has changed. Okay, that's what happens. You added Tailwind, and this is what changed. Also, now that we go back to Tailwind, the part 6, which is the best part, start using Tailwind in your project. So it's saying that you can do a h1 tag. So h1 is coming from HTML, and it's saying you can add something called as a class name, and it gives you a bunch of things you can add. So let's copy this. Let's copy this thing inside the class name. Why am I copying this, only this and not everything else? Because we already have some stuff written. We have a main. So everything here has a class name attribute on it. So if you just write some things, it will show you exactly, like, are you trying to write class name? So class name equals, and what do we paste inside it? So we can paste this text as 3xl, font bold and underline. Copy these three things, paste it inside class name. So text as 3xl, font bold, underline, and voila, look at on the right hand side, things have changed. So we can now go and do an analysis on this. Text dash 3xl. So text dash 3xl, come back on Tailwind website and paste text dash 3xl. It will show you something. Click on the first one. Does it talk about anything here? Uh, hmm, Seems like not. Can we go for the second link? So text, can we just search for text and text size or font size? I think font size. Can we go for the font size? Yes, we can go for the font size. So what we have searched. So searching for text dash 3xl did not give us anything useful. So I went for the next best thing, that is text size. And it gave us this, do you want to check in typography, font size? I'm like, yeah, give me the answer to it. And once you go in there, you will see text dash size. We have text dash 3xl. Now this is where the magic comes in. Someone had asked, how is CSS different than Tailwind? So in CSS, you would have to write these two lines to make the font size as good as text dash 3xl. So this is what Tailwind gives us. It tells us the shorthand property. It gives us a shorthand property to long things. So instead of writing font size as this much and line height as this much, just copy paste text dash 3xl, or not copy paste, just add text dash 3xl, and that would handle it. The next is font bold. Now I think it will become more and more easy to understand. So font bold, font bold is font weight property. So font weight property, you can add these many things. So instead of adding, let's say, font weight 500, font weight 600, font weight 700, you can add font dash bold, which will work as good as font dash weight dash 7 colon 700. Next is underline. Now this is very simple to understand. If you remove this, what is going to happen? No underline. Okay, so this is what Tailwind gives us. It gives us utility classes, and I see there is a comment, no utility classes detected. Quick question, did you add these three things in app.css? But yeah, you see how easy Tailwind makes it for us. It makes it so easy. Okay, you have added this, and did you run all the other things? So in the config, it needs to have these things, these two lines. And if you go to Tailwind CSS, go to get started, framework guides, Vite, you have to run this first line, second line. Did you do all of this? Running the first line separately, second line separately, then copying those two things, and then adding these in app.css, and then you have to stop and start. Okay, so click on the stop button and then click on it again and it will start. So when you say done, is it sorted? So if you receive warning, ensure that you have gone through every step. So step number one was to install it. Step number two was to this initialize or init, and then add this, and then add these two lines, and then this npm run dev. What you have to do is basically click on this stop button and click on it again, so it would start again. So that should solve it. Okie doke. Now, I know we have been going slow, but the website is going to be fairly quick. Okay, it's going to be fairly quick, it's going to be fairly easy. So I wanted to spend time into telling you how to get started with Tailwind. And look at it, so beautiful, so good. But there's always a but. The thing is that while I like this raw feel of Tailwind, I also want to add something extra, which Tailwind gives. Okay, Tailwind gives it to us. So if I click on this docs option, okay, not the docs option. Uh, wow, where did that go? I used to have it right here. Hmm, interesting. I think they have added it directly on this. So initially, what used to happen? Oh no. So no, sorry, they changed the paths. This is where you get confused. So on Tailwind, if you click on components, okay, so on the Tailwind website, click on this components option. Once you click on that, you'll go to a new website, which is tailwindui.com. So once you go to tailwindui.com, they have a bunch of components. They have hero sections, and they have the code for it, which, like, how awesome can you be? You're giving me the code, and not just HTML. They have code for React, they have code for Vue. You can use anything. Okay, so we are going to come to this, we are going to come to components, we are going to do a copy paste, not because we are lazy, but because we want to take the best of what is there in the market available for free and use it to our convenience. So this is the components. There are a bunch of things, trust me, like it's so big. I don't think like 500 plus components. Some of them are paid, so not everything is free. So anywhere you see a lock sign, this lock sign, that means it's paid. Okay, but the free things, they are good enough. They are good enough to just work well. So once you come to components, how did we reach here? We've on Tailwind website, click on components. Now the next step is to click on documentation. And why I say this, uh, so we have already installed Tailwind CSS and everything is there, and we can add the inter font family. Now inter font family, what is the font family that we are using? Let's check that out quickly. So it's using, as you can see, the font is 30 pixels, UI dash sans dash serif, and then system dash UI. Okay, this is the font. So I have an error. I'll come back to it quickly. But this is the font that we are using. We can replace that font. And the way Tailwind suggests is if you want to add this inter font, you can just copy this line. Okay, just click on that copy, come to your replet, go to index.html. Okay, this needs to go in index.html and it needs to go in the head part. So it should be in this, like between line 3 and line 8. It should be pasted here. There's already a link tag. So if you want, you can paste it just below it. Once you have added that, go to documentation, then add intervar to your sans font family in your Tailwind config. So it's saying that go to your Tailwind config, which is right here, and then it's telling us that go inside this theme extend font family. So do we have a theme? Yes, we have a theme. We have an extend. Inside this, we need to have a font family. So let's copy these two lines and come back and paste it here. Now sometimes it will take time. So default theme is not defined. It's saying like, what is this default theme? We missed a line. We missed this first line. Okay, so copy this first line and come back to this and paste it right on the top. And let's wait for the magic to happen. Sometimes it would pick it quickly, sometimes it would just take some time. But now it has picked it quickly. Look at this. The font has changed. It is now intervar. And then UI sans serif, then system UI. So this is the fallback. So it will first try to load the font of intervar. And if it fails, then it will go to UI sans serif, then it will go to system UI, and so on and so forth. Okay. Moving on, using React. So Tailwind UI for React depends on headless UI to power all interactive behavior and hero icons for icons. So you can check out hero icons. It's good. If you can see, these are bunch of icons that they have. Okay, like really good, really good. So many icons. And this is by the same makers of Tailwind. And they also talk about headless UI. So headless UI, again, you can go and check that out. It's unstyled, accessible UI components. UI components, think of it as pre-written code. So they have so many things. Okay, and unstyled, they have the code right here. And you can copy that code and do so many things. But we'll again come to it later. So coming back to the documentation, just copy this line, and it says it requires more than React 16. Which React version do we have? Let's quickly check. So React, if types React is 18.0.27 and React is okay 18.2.0. So yeah, we are good. React is more than version 18. Like it's version 18 more than 16 definitely. So with that in mind, let's come back to the shell. And what we did was we had copied this particular line, and just paste it right here and hit enter. It will install a bunch of things. Now let's debug what's there, and then we'll take a 10 minutes break. Just stretch out, have some water, just relax, okay, for 10 minutes. But let's first debug. So it's telling to double check the content option. So inside the content, can you just delete everything that you have inside tailwind.config.cjs and paste this thing? I don't know if it is going to go. I don't know if it's like too big. Should go. Yep, that's gone. I think on YouTube it's going to break, but yeah, if you're on Twitch, you should be able to see. Just copy paste. So delete everything that you have in tailwind.config.cjs and paste what I just sent in chat. With that, let's take a quick 10 minutes break. So it's 10:06 for me. I don't know what it is like different time zones, but 10 minutes and we'll be back. So I'm going to just mute myself, but I'm here. Okay, I'll be looking at chat. Uh, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in chat. But let's see you in 10 minutes. And we are back. Hi everyone, once again. We are Why am I hearing my own voice? That is weird. Okay, perfect. So, hopefully you had a good break, took some rest, just stretched yourself. I did definitely. So, with that, let's come back to what we are going to work. So we were going to work on our UI, this wonderful UI that we have built, this wonderful sketch that we have built, hero section, footer section, cards. So let's get started with the hero section. Like, let's build the hero. Let's add some text right there and do some stuff. But you don't really want to mess up with everything, and you would love, I'm sure, if you had a play area, okay, just to test out things, okay, just to test out how do you configure Tailwind. So Tailwind just takes care of that too. Tailwind is that good. So there is something called as play.tailwindcss.com, which I have shared in chat, the link to it, and this is what it looks like. So what is it about? So Tailwind Play is basically allows you to write some code here on the left hand side, see the output on the right hand side, and once you're very happy that okay, this is perfect, I just want this one, copy paste it from here and paste it in your Replit. Okay, so I'm just going to close a bunch of things that I had opened, uh, extra things. Okay, there were only two apparently. But once you have done that, come to Tailwind Play, and we are going to just delete everything from line 12 to line 59 and just have this one div. Why am I keeping that one div? Because I just like it this way also, because then we don't have to configure that, oh, my thing needs to be only inside this file, or like this much space or anything. Just keep basically line number 11 and delete everything from after that, line number 12 to just last. Have one div with this class and have 113 here, and delete everything here on the top. Now, this is HTML. Now, the major difference that you're going to face and the errors that you're going to face with HTML and React is this class. So HTML uses a class property. So it says class equals to, but React uses class name equals to. Why is that? Because class is a reserved keyword in JavaScript. So there are few reserved keywords in every programming language, definitely. So here we want to just say that, okay, we are not using the reserved keyword class. This is something different. It's class name. So that's why we changed that. So with that, okay, oops, should not have done that. Okay, now let's start building. So what would we need? So just to experiment it out, I can do a h1, which is a header tag, and write header and then close that h1. If we do that, look at where it comes. It comes here right at the bottom, which is bad, I think. Okay, can we remove bits and pieces of it? It also on Hover it tells you what is the property that it's using. So this min hit screen, if I remove this, yes, it comes right at the top. So okay, that solves it. Now header, I need the header to have, like, as I said, here we write class equals to, so I need it to be big. So to make it bigger, so we can do text dash 3XL. That, solves it. It makes the font size bigger. So that would be the header. But how do we want the header to look like? So header is, I'm talking about the hero section. Let's rename it. Let's call it hero section. So hero section, this is what I'm talking about. How do we want the hero section to look? Let's like close our eyes for a second and not fall asleep, but think, what would be good? Can I have the title like job board website at the center of the whole layout? So if I have this rectangle layout, job board website comes at the center, a small description just below it which says this is a job board website or whatever you want to add, and the background color should be nice. I think that's the minimalistic thing that you can do, right? So let's do it that ways. So text-3xl makes like uses these properties and makes it big. How do I make it come center? Centering anything is just so difficult. So I'm going to try a bunch of things and we are going to see if any of them work. Text center. Damn. Right when I did not want it to work the first time, but it did. So that's good. So hero section, to center it, we can use this text dash center, which internally uses text align colon center. Okay. Remember, Tailwind gives us shorthand properties. So text dash 3xl and text dash center. It looks good, but I think the font is like too compressed. I mean, it's too thin. Can we make it bold? So let's do a font, and then you have these bunch of options. Sans, or if you like, just do a down arrow and you'll start seeing it. Looks good, looks good. Semi bold looks good. Bold is good. Hey, extra bold, it's too bold. Okay, so font and extra light is just bad, not light. No, we can go with semi bold. Okay, so font dash semi bold makes it semi bold. Perfect. Now I'm just going to quickly go over Discord because I have a tag. Okay, so when I'll just quickly share what I wanted. So I actually wanted, once you are inside the REPL, can you take a screenshot of this and post that? So I need the file. I need the file. Yeah, I need this file structure coming to me. So please share a screenshot of how it looks. These files. Okay, I need to see how they look. So yeah, coming back to Tailwind Play. Come on, don't run away. So Tailwind Play. You saw how we made it a big text. There's a text center. There's font semi bold. Justify center. This I think is also doing some tricks. If I remove this, do you think it will still be centered? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Okay, overflow hidden. What is that doing? It's saying overflow hidden. Interesting. Not very much helpful right there. But let's come to the documentation. Let's see if we can find something about overflow. So text overflow. Okay. So overflow hidden, what it does, you can find some information with some examples. So truncate, to truncate overflowing text with ellipsis. So if you add truncate, then it would add these three dots towards the end of something. And over text ellipsis overflow hidden. So if you have a very big word which is like just so long without any spaces, of course it's a word, then it will add ellipsis. Clip is there. Yeah, things are there, but overflow, text overflow controls the overflow of an element. And overflow, there's text overflow, blah blah blah, overflow showing content that overflows, overflow visible, overflow hidden. Okay, this is what it does. Overflow hidden, to clip any content within an element that overflows the bounds of that element. So if something starts trying to go beyond the div, it will just clip it. Okay, example like this image, this was going beyond this circle. If I make it, I think, light theme, I think that would be easily visible. Yeah, so this was going be like outside of this card, this image was going outside, it looked good. But let's say instead of image it was something else, you don't want it to overflow, then you do a overflow hidden, and then it would just clip it. Okay, ensure that it is confined inside that card. So we might need that. I'm not sure if we will need it right now, but we might need that in future. So I'm going to keep it. Flex and flex call. Can I delete it and see what is happening? Nothing happens. Nothing changes for us. So, yep. The next is py6. What is it doing? So py6, it adds a padding top, it adds a padding bottom. Okay, it basically adds spaces on the top and the bottom. Can we change it? So can we make it py dash? There are so many options. How much padding do you want to give? If I do a py12, what happens? Okay, nothing. Why? Because it's also adding py12 here. So maybe if I also change this one to, let's say, 36, you see the difference. So there is a question, program plan for this session. We are doing React. Projects you build in technologies. So programming languages are JavaScript. We are using React framework. The IDE is Replit, and we are doing it online. Software architecture, it would be neither actually, because won't be a full stack application, but React in itself is MVC in a way. Yeah, React in itself is MVC. Or maybe we can say it's like near to MVC, but more on the model view. So MVVM can also be one way to say it, because again, that's like only front end, but inside, internally, it's doing, there's a model, there is a view that is rendered, there's a controller which controls the flow of the data. So MVC, but MVVM is also can be adapted to it. Okay, so yeah, we have the H1 class. I know it's we have just reached till here, but it would be done. So we had the H1. Now I want to add some quick description. So what I can do is I can add something called as a p tag, a paragraph tag. Now this is too big, so I'm going to just solve this to be, let's say, 16. I think 16 is good. So what is this property doing? This is very smart property, and it's very misunderstood property. So py-12, I told you it adds space on the top and the bottom, but there is py-16 also. So what is that doing? So hovering over py-12, it tells you there's a padding top, there's a padding bottom. Hovering over this also adds something else. It adds at media, min width, and some stuff. So what does that mean? Let me actually reduce this to 4, and if we try to make it smaller, you can see what's happening, right? It goes on the top. So the way you read this particular property is above small screen. Okay, just remember this: above small screen, I want the padding, or the padding like space on the top. Y-axis is like this vertical axis, right? So py is a padding on the vertical axis. I want the padding on vertical axis to be this py16, that is 4 rem on the top, 4 rem on the bottom, but only above small screen. So what is above small screen? Above small screen is your iPad, it's your desktop, laptop, whatever. What is then small screen? What should happen in small screen? It should take this py-4. So for any screen which is small or less than small, use py4. So as you can see, that is what happens. Okay, so for above small screen is big screen, of course. You have more padding, and once you go in and you go to a smaller screen, like to the size of a mobile screen, this padding would reduce. Hope that is understandable. Next is the color. Now this was interesting. Forgot about it. But BG-Gray-50. Another reason why I love Tailwind. Man, I'm just selling it right at this point. But customizing colors. So I know because I have worked with it so much. But if you go to customizing colors, always go to the search, start searching, you'll find the answer to some or the other thing. So customizing color. So what is this using? It is saying that BG, which stands for background, as you can see the definition, background dash color, it is using gray and 50. So background gray and 50 is this particular color. If I want to, let's say, use this particular color, so this color, what I can do is BG, that stands for background. So I can do BG, and then instead of gray, what do I want there? I want slate. Okay, that's the name here. Slate, and then this is the value 900. So BG dash slate dash 900. And it's done. The only problem is now the text is not exactly visible. So for that, what we can do is text dash, okay, text dash, can I add a color to this? So what color can I add? I can add, let's say, slate 100 to it. So can I try that? Text dash slate dash 100. Voila, we have it back. Okay. Hopefully that was understood. So BG, that is background. It adds a background color, and text adds a text color. Now there is a variety of colors that you can use just right here. Okay, like so many of them. Choose what you like, which color you love. Maybe if you want to go with blue, I think someone said in between blue is the favorite color when I was using blue. Hopefully it was blue. So you can take this. So BG dash blue dash whatever value. Okay, so BG dash blue dash 900. And for the text, again, you can choose anything you want. Let's say I want this cyan of 100. So text dash cyan dash 100. Variety. But I'm going to just do Control Z. We'll come back to this BG slate. I think 900 is too dark. 700? Yeah, 700 looks fine, right? Right? Anyone? Give me a second opinion. It looks good. Yep, perfect. Thank you. 800. Okay, 700 is good. Now let's go to the paragraph tag, which I had started but I did not complete. So paragraph tag, what is going to happen here? So inside the paragraph tag, I want to add a description, a quick short description. So this is a job board website. This is what I want to add. And you can then close it. So this is there. This is here, right here. It's just not visible. So now you know the trick, how to make something visible. You do a class, what is the font size you want to test? So you can do a text dash uh, excel. I think that would look bigger. Then I want the text again to be center. Okay, so I can do a text dash center. Font dash, I can do font weight to be normal. I think that's fine. Then for the text, I want the text to be uh, 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 lime 100. Let's just mess with it. Yes, you can definitely test out more colors, but just messing around. Okay, so this is what it has done. So we have the hero section just ready for us to plug and play. And it's responsive. As you can see, it's responsive and it just works out of the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this whole thing, copy everything that we wrote. Like, also you can click on this tidy now, it will add some spaces, make it look beautiful, all those things. Now you can copy this whole thing. Once you have copied that whole thing, I'm sorry, I'm just replying on Discord. Open the src folder. Also open the src folder, please, and send an ss. Yes, so yeah, coming back. So just copy this whole thing. Let's come to our project. Let's go to app.jsx. Now inside this whole main thing, let's just delete it and let's paste what we have added. Now there is going to be a error where you're not going to see it right now. If you go to the job board website, oopsie doopsie. If you go to the job board website, how do you open this? You click on this one and you open it. You will see that it says in the console, invalid DOM property class. Did you mean class name? Like, it's telling you, like, class, it's still rendering. React is that good. It understands what you're trying to do, but it's suggesting you this is a bad idea. It's not a problem right now, maybe a problem in future. So don't use class, use class name. So everywhere we have class, we write class name. Okay, class name and class name. And then it starts giving error, which is weird. Guys, what's the error? It's saying, oh, an extra thing came in. And why is this equal to there? Yeah. Okay, finally. So class name, that's the important part. So instead of class, it should be called as class name, which I had already told you. And the hero section is just ready. Love the plug and play version, okay? Because it's like a sandbox inside a sandbox. So Replit is also kind of a sandbox environment where you can try out things. Similarly, the play.tailwindcss.com, that's also a sandbox environment. You can try out different things. So now that we have created the header, okay, we have created the header, it's time to create footer. Okay, now let's go to, remember I told you about something called as components. Like, Tailwind has these components which we can use and just work with it. I'm going to go and see if the code for footer is available there and if it's free or not. So there's a question, did we use any add-ons, plugins, and or APIs? So API is, yes, the like React API. You can think of React as an API, and that is also our plugin. And we are using Vite and Tailwind, which are other plugins and APIs. Now, it seems like there is either some error or there is not. No, there's no error. Okay, perfect. So let's go to tailwindcss.com once again. I'm keeping that one open. Let's go to the components. Remember, I talked about components where Tailwind gives you a bunch of components to work with. Okay, and it's just good. You can click on this show more. You'll come to this particular page. Now, I want footer. So I want to do the laziest thing and search for footer. Now there's a lock here, which means it's paid. But if we had the subscription, we would be able to use these really good looking footer options, right? Uh, oh my God, this is so good. And then there's this social links only, which is like the simplest one. There's simple centered one. If you click on get code, it is going to ask you to buy the subscription to it, like one time purchase, not even a subscription, one time purchase, but it's good, gives you a bunch of things and everything. But okay, this is one example of a footer. Can we try and make it? So we know how to center things, we know what to do if we want to center things. Then for the logos, I think we can get it maybe either from Hero Icons or somewhere else. And then there's again a very short not description, it's like about your company, like your copyright thing. So I think we can make a UI similar to this one. So let's come back to our Tailwind play. Let me see how much time we have. We have a good amount of time left. So we are coming here, and we will still have everything else. uh, Actually, we will have the whole thing. We're just going to change a bunch of things here and there. So let's keep it relative, overflow hidden. Let's change the background. Let's go for a different color. I want to go for, let's say, blue 700. So I want to go for the black background of blue 700, and the text, I want to take that text to be, let's say, blue 100. So text dash blue dash 100, and the text which is just below it, I want it to be blue 50. So we can do that, right? So we can do text dash blue dash 50. And now the text is going to change. Now this is our footer, right? So we can say this is footer, and then this is our copyright thingy. This is where the copyright will come. But in between this footer and this copyright thing, we have a bunch of icons. And also don't forget, so this thing, these are like multiple links, right? Links to multiple things. Right now we have just one page, so we'll go with one link only. But later on we can add more to it. We'll come to it. We'll definitely come to it, don't worry. And then there is these bunch of icons. Now let's see if Hero Icons can serve us here. So Hero Icons, can I search for, what was there, GitHub? So no, GitHub icon is not available on Hero Icons. What are the other icons that it had? So there was Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Let's just search if there is any. So Twitter is not Twitter is not there. YouTube is not there. Okay, so we don't have icons to companies on Hero Icons, which is okay. Of course, there's a solution. I'm here to provide a solution to it. So you can go for something called as React icons. Okay, React icons, this is good. Why do I say it's good? It's basically collection of everything. On React icons you can find Hero Icons and Hero Icons too. So React icons is a collection of multiple icons given by like multiple companies, multiple projects, and it just collects it together. And installing React icons means you have access to like nearly everything. So now let's search for GitHub. And so many companies have different versions of GitHub. There's AI Fill GitHub, which AI is from Ant Icons. Okay, AI is from Ant Icons. There's AI Outline, that is again from Ant Icons. There is BS, that I'm guessing would come from, I don't know, Bootstrap Icons. Yes, Bootstrap Icons. So you see, this is like so many different companies, different versions of icons. You can use either. Now, which one do I like? I like this FA GitHub, which I think it's Font Awesome. I think, yeah, FA. How I know for sure, like I'm just checking this name right here. So I want to use this Font Awesome GitHub icon. How do I install? So the step one is, how do I install React icons? So it seems like the steps to install React icons, it's here. Yeah, just click on home like a couple of times, you'll reach there ultimately. So installation for standard modern project. Ours is modern. It's like it started today. We use the latest of everything. So what we have to do is copy this. Okay. So just copy this and come to our project. On the right hand side, go to the shell and just paste it and hit run. Now, this is interesting because so I'm talking about the issue of that utility classes, the screenshot that is shared on Discord. Seems like you have everything right, but it still seems again that there is some issue because of which it's giving that warning. Now it's a warning, so I think things should work. So maybe you can just try and add everything else. uh, Later on I'll show how you can share this REPL, which I want everyone to share, like, or I'll share mine and everyone can have a look. So when we share this REPL, then I can have a look at your REPL, try and clone it and see where exactly is the issue. But quick glance, everything seems all right. Okay. So with that, I'm just like confused about that app.jsx. It should work. Technically, it should work, but I'm just curious why it isn't. Hmm. Interesting. I don't know. I'm like confused. Like looks, as I said, the way it looks like, it seems like you have everything right. So I'm just, yeah, really confused. Okay, doke. So we have installed React icons. Okay. If we have React icons, we can use it. Now we cannot use it on this. We cannot use it on Tailwind Play, but we are going to add a placeholder for it. Okay. So we are going to add a placeholder. We are going to add, let's say, a div. We are going to close that div, and inside this div we are going to say a p tag, and we'll say placeholder for icons. What did I do? What did I do? No, 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 no. I did something definitely because the screen has changed for me. Weird, weird things keep happening. I think it's based mostly with regards to my Chrome tab. I clicked something which made it large. I can just quickly do this and interesting. If anyone remembers the shortcut for undoing it, let me know. Oh, it's Control Shift F. Okay, cool. Or Command Shift F in Mac. Perfect. So placeholder for icons, we have kept a placeholder here, and this is our description. Now let's copy this out. Why am I saying copy this out? Because more or less our footer is going to look like this. Now let's copy this, come back to our page. So we had the header. From this part to this part was our header. We'll add the footer right below it. Now this is going to give a bunch of errors, and the error is, as you can read it right here, it says the error is j- adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. So the way React works is in one file, okay, you can have one element to be returned. So what do I mean by one element? This is our first element, the header, and this is our second element, the footer. These are two different elements. So what it's saying is wrap both of them into one div, or you can use something called as a fragment. So fragment is just like empty angled brackets. So empty angled brackets at the start and empty angle brackets at the end, and that should solve it. Okay. So the hero is here, the footer is here, the content in between is missing. We'll add that. We'll add that. Okay, no worries. We just want to take it like slowly and let everyone understand exactly what's happening. So this was header. I'm going to hit a enter there, and then I'm going to take this particular thing inside. And why did I have a div here? Oh, for the placeholder to icons. So we are also going to add icons, and this was our footer. Okay. So our header, our footer, and it's being rendered. Remember the issue? Class. That should change to class name. And again, this should change to class name, and this should change to class name. And now the icons, which I'm sure you must all have been waiting for. How do I add icons to this? So remember, we downloaded something. We downloaded something called as React Icons. And it's saying that if you want to import something, you can use this. Okay. So what do? We go to the search and we want this particular icon, which is FA GitHub. Oops. Let me click. Man. Okay. Let's search for GitHub again. Once you search for GitHub, you will find this FA GitHub. If you click on it, you will find a toast, a pop-up coming like right below. Copied FA GitHub to clipboard. So what has it copied? Let's come here and in below this p tag, let's paste it. It has copied a text FA GitHub, which is not exactly what we are looking for. We are looking for that icon. So what can we do? Let's go back to the home page and it's saying you can do like add an angled bracket, then the name and the closing angled bracket. Let's do that. So let's add a angled bracket, then the name and the closing angled bracket, which is good, but still nothing is happening. Pretty sure if you go to the console, it's going to be like, hey, where is this GitHub coming from? So you can do one thing. Again, let's go back to the documentation. It's saying if you are using something below, go for like import it at the top, import and then curly brackets and whatever the name is from whatever the name is. So whatever it is coming from. So this is FA means font awesome. Okay. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to write that import. So I'm going to do import and I'm going to add curly brackets and I'm trying to paste it. Yep. And then from what? From React icons slash FA. So once you do that, hopefully it is going to load, may take some time. Let it reload and you will find the icon. Now this is the icon. It's too small. It's not visible. It's in a different color. Now let's change that. So FA GitHub, it's outside of this p tag. So instead of being outside, let's wrap it inside this p tag. Let's take it inside the p tag. Now we are going to test a bunch of things. I'm going to teach you how do you exactly come to a solution. So remember, to add something, we need to add a class name. And can we change the text color? So text dash slate dash 100. Would this make it white? Yep, it did. Yes, it did. As you can see, it's right here. And similarly, if you go to React icons and you can click on this more info, just scroll down and you will find that whatever it uses and so many things, and these are the keys. So you can define the color to the icon. You can define the color of the icon. You can define the size. You can add class names. You can add style. You can add attribute. You can add title. So many things. Let's go with the size one. So I want to add size, and this was inside FA GitHub. So I can do size equals, and let's say I want to add size of 4. That's too small. Let's go for 16. That's big enough. 32. Yep. Looks good. Just too big. But let's go with 28 maybe. Should be fairly good looking. Yep. That's sorted. And yep, that's done. It's just too much on the left. Can we bring it in center? We can try it. So it's in a p tag. Can we do a text dash center? Again, I'm going to try a bunch of things. Text center does not work, at least right, not here. What else? What else is there to center? There's place content center, justify content center, align content center, place self center, so many things. We are going to try a bunch of things. So place content center, this goes on the div tag. So, but along with that, it also needs grid, it needs grid calls, gap 4, and place content. Let's go with something easier. Can we try that? Justify content. So it needs flex and it needs justify center. Okay, I think I can try this. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to add a class name here and I'm going to add that. Let's see if it works. Well, that worked, which is good, I would say. Tech center did not help us, but yes, adding that justify content center with this flex, this whole thing helped and it brought the GitHub icon to the center, which is great. So we have successfully created the header and the footer. I know we took like 2 hours to do this, but the initial setup was good. Then we picked up pace, we added a bunch of things. The content is missing. So the content would come right about here, right? Inside the first, like this is the first div, this is the second one, and there's some content which should come right here. So I'll just add a placeholder and I'll add a h1 tag which says content coming here soon, dot dot dot. And remember, we can actually copy this whole thing, copy this particular class name and add it to this one. Let's wait for it to render. Hopefully it will render. Yeah, sometimes it just becomes slow when you have been using it for a long time. And there you have it. Content coming here soon. I think the color, the font color, I should change it. So instead of text slate 100, I think text slate 800 would be good. Yeah. Now this looks good, but can I add some spacing on the top and bottom? Yes, I can. Remember, we have done this. Adding a py and let's say py of what? How much? Py of, okay, can we go to the play? This is where play is helpful again. So py, what are the options? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, and then it goes on and on. Do you think py-48 would be good? We can do that. Let's do that. py-48. And once we do that, yeah, there's more spacing. Okay. So hopefully you all enjoyed this. We have created a header, we have created a footer. Content is coming here soon. So wait for the part 2, which is going to happen tomorrow. Nearly same time, I think. I'll put it on Discord, I'll post announcement. And that's it from me, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in and enjoy the next sessions. Again, if there are any questions, I can stay back for a minute or so. Any questions, anyone? I'm already over time. I need to. Okay, seems none. Perfect. So thank you so much once again, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye.